So what would be
Right.
your few tips on how or what things we should consider in what would be your few
Right.
tips on that?
So see, let's do a simple calculation here. Okay. So you hire a fresher, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you hire a fresher, you give them training for 2 months and you pay them out also,
You
right?
see with India dropshipping model, how is the future?
See, future, to be honest, I would not be ashamed in saying this, that there is not even a single good company in India who's providing a top class dropshipping.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I bring on a very special guest with me, Mr. Sunil from ECOM Tech Ka Tadka. Now, Mr. Sunil, thank you so much for joining with us. How are you doing?
I'm good and pleasure to be there on your channel, Semi. Nice connecting with you after a long time.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Mr. Sunil, a lot of audience, they have a lot of questions related to Amazon selling, then
Right.
expanding beyond Amazon, drop
Mhm.
shipping, wholesale, then getting into which services to choose. There's a lot of questions there. But today we are
Right.
going to figure out few topics and discuss about those, mainly in
Right.
which you have more expertise to share. So
Yeah.
let's talk about services. Right now, if I look at India, there are so many
Mhm.
SPN service providers. Even
Right.
we are also Amazon ads partners. So among so many people,
Right.
what makes people trust one agency? And rather, my question should be like this: why should
Mhm.
people, instead of hiring their own team, go and
Mhm.
choose a SPN service provider or an agency to handle their advertising, or let's assume catalog? What would be your
Mhm.
answer in this?
Okay. So, see, the answer is simple but complicated at the same time. Simple as in, if I am an entrepreneur, I am into e-commerce business, and I want to focus primarily into expansion. Okay, and at the same time, if I want to focus on day-to-day activities, day-to-day operations, there are very less chances that I'll grow as an entrepreneur. Okay. Even though if I have a team, I'll go and poke my nose into different, things here and there. And instead of investing my time into the expansion, I would go ahead and, poke my nose into different activities done by the team. So that is not something which a lot of people realize initially, but because of this, a lot of entrepreneurs, they waste their time, simply waste their time. Okay, if we talk about the cost effectiveness, again, that's a problem if you have an in-house team. Why? Because the in-house team, you'll have to ensure that you need to get, a lot of equipments to provide the services. You need to buy softwares. You need to coach people, train them, and you need to invest on infrastructure, invest on, computers and things like that. And the overall cost of managing all those aspects and parameters goes beyond many brands limit. On the other hand, all those kind of services can be just simply received through an agency at a very nominal cost. So they don't have to worry about attrition in their company. They don't have to worry if somebody leaves the company. They don't have to worry about the infrastructure, the computers, internet, anything. So this is the scope, huge scope for the service sector to grow and expand.
Mhm.
But the thing is that message is not very clear from a lot of agencies how they need to approach the brand and convince them. Okay, so different. So I mean, even if you are a small agency or a big agency, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you're pitching your services, how you are able to build that confidence in customers' mind. So most
Yep.
of the factors depends on that guy who's at the front end, talking about the services to the
Mhm.
client. So he is the guy who can do the magic and convince the customer. But the retention is something which depends on the back end team, the operations team, whoever is providing the services. But I think conversion is not a very big problem. It can be easily done, but retention is a big problem in service sector because the kind of service that is currently being provided in many parts of small companies and agencies are providing, they are not very technologically advanced. And knowledge wise also very advanced. Okay, because everybody is doing, so they are also doing. So I think by utilizing tools and AI, there are a lot of AI tools now. By doing so and adapting to the new technology, these things can be done very, smoothly and very accurately and flawlessly. And I think that's going to make a lot of difference for the clients.
Yeah, that was a really in detail explanation. I mean, I would completely agree with you, especially after managing 35 plus team member band. You have managed a lot of high size
Right,
team of your own, and you
right,
have suffered through the same problems like I am suffering as well. What
right,
used to happen with us is when we go and hire very rapidly because we scaled very fast. Now
right.
we are at almost 35 plus team size and handling more than 60 plus worldwide brands. Combined, we
Mm-hmm.
have handled over 100 million USD in total revenue. So the problems
Okay,
that we are seeing is after hiring them, the first challenge is they are not equipped with the right technology, the right strategies that we are,
correct,
because we are into this thing for a long time.
correct.
And we generally get them through a training of 3 months. And the first month,
Right.
we get them through the basic knowledge. Then the second month, we train them on giving them some accounts with a
Mm-hmm.
expert under them. I mean, one
Right.
expert takes them under and they just guides them that this is what we are doing. Then on
Mm-hmm.
third month, if they are qualified enough and they can take the responsibility, they can do some task in the accounts.
Right.
And the main problem what we have seen is we train them, we pay them for the training period as well, and then they go away and start their own agency or freelancing.
Correct.
But main problem is obviously how you can teach them the environment in your company is far enough better than others what they are
Mm-hmm.
intended to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the training, the mode of training that we used to do and the mode of training we do right now is completely
Mm-hmm.
different, especially because our entire team is completely work from home. We don't have an office.
Okay. Okay.
And lately we are using some softwares to track their daily activity, like their
Right.
presence and all, because we have faced a lot of issues with time they are not
Right.
present properly and those kind of issues.
Right.
And I think that is a huge problem, and you have also gone through the same problems as well. So what would be
Right.
your few tips on how or what things we should consider in hiring someone for, let's assume, our own team, because there will be brands who are
Mm-hmm.
funded who will be
Right.
not going for agencies, but they will go for hiring their own people. What would be your few
Right.
tips on that?
So, see, let's do a simple calculation here. Okay. So, you hire a fresher, right? Do you hire a fresher? Okay.
Yeah,
So, when you hire a fresher, you give them training for 2 months and you pay them also, right?
yeah.
So, what is an average salary for a fresher?
For a fresher, our internship starts at 8 to 10,000. It depends on their quality.
Okay. So, let's say 10,000. You're paying for 2 months without expecting any return on that investment, right? So, you're paying 20,000 without
Yeah.
expecting returns. And after, and what is the attrition rate? How many people actually go away after you hire, let's say 50 people? How many would actually go away after 2 months of training?
So if we go for 50 people, then probably 10 to 20 will stay. It will be a ratio of 20%. That will be good enough that we can have them in our team.
Okay, so let's say after 2 months, out of 50, 30 people are going away. So 30 into 20,000, how much is that?
Around 6 lakhs.
Okay, so you're simply wasting your money, that is 6 lakhs on freshers, okay, and which is not going to come back to you in any form. All right. On the other hand, and also one more thing, the freshers would have a limited output, so you'll not be able to expect the kind of output even after 3 months or 4 months. They'll be like
Mhm.
slow understanding things, doing mistakes
Yeah.
here and there. So for someone to be a master on any particular subject, it'll take about 6 months to 1 year. then
Mhm.
then it's something where you would say that yes, now I'm getting my return on that investment for 6 months which I did on that particular employee. Okay, so overall for 4 to 5 months you're just investing on developing his skills and knowledge, but
Yeah.
in return you're getting maybe 20% or 30% of output out of 100%.
Mhm.
Okay, so technically speaking, you are investing about 10 lakh rupees for 50 employees in a year. On the other hand, if you hire an experienced person, let's say at a double cost, all right, first benefit you would get is they will not leave the company very fast until and unless they don't like the job.
Yeah.
So they must have been working somewhere already. So they are
Mhm.
coming with a mindset that they want to do a job only. They don't have any dreams like starting their own business. So you're selecting someone who's already doing a job or has been doing a job for quite a long time, and you're hiring that person and who's already capable of delivering these kind of work. Okay, so your attrition rate goes down from 60% to almost 10%. So you're saving all
Mhm.
the hard work, hard and money directly there. Plus, you don't have to coach them, guide them for 3 months or 4 months. The day they join, they'll be, giving you the output. Okay, at
Exactly.
almost the double, they might give you 3 times or 4 times of output what you would expect
Mhm.
from a fresher.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the fresher is giving you, like, let's say 200 listings in a day, that
Mhm.
guy would probably do 1,000 listings in a day, the
Exactly.
experienced guy. Okay, so you'll have to, in that case, you'll have to hire less people and you'll have to waste less amount in terms of attrition. So my tip here would be to, keep a mixture of both experienced and fresher. I mean, you need to understand where is that fresher properly fitting
Mhm.
into your business. I mean, if you put him into a lot of technical stuff right from day one, his mind will choke. Okay, he will not
Yeah.
probably able to think, and he'll say that probably it's not my cup of tea. Or he would be, if he's smart enough, he would say, "Let me learn all of this, then I'll start my own business." Okay, and the third option is he's understanding everything and he's loyal to your company and he's sticking to you. Okay, but that is only 33% chance. But 66% chance is like they would either go away or they would start their own business, something like that. Okay, so I think hiring freshers, I mean, experienced people compared to freshers is a better option in service industry because you don't want to compromise on the quality of service which you are giving to your
Exactly.
clients. And with the freshers, it is little difficult. I'm not saying we should not hire freshers because uh,
Mhm.
that is also not good for our economy. And as an business, we should hire both freshers and experienced people both, because we need to keep our business rolling and we have to keep our customers happy.
Yeah, completely get it and 100% agree on that part. So, exactly that is what we are doing right now. Lastly, what we are transferring is we have
Mhm.
stopped our internship trainings, and
Okay.
rather than the same results we are observing, what we have actually said right now.
Okay.
And I would completely agree with what you have said, because experienced, obviously, it brings on what we have seen is the training part, it is completely not there. I mean, training
Right.
is there because they have to get to know about our systems, the softwares we use, the tools we use. That is the only
Right.
part. And couple of Loom videos are enough for them to understand that thing.
Right.
And so I think that clearly justifies my question. And now let's
Mhm.
move to a little bit different topic about
Sure. Sure.
Indian marketplace. Let's talk about drop shipping. Where do you
Right.
see with India drop shipping model? How is the future?
See, future, to be honest, I would not be ashamed in saying this, that there is not even a single good company in India who's providing a top class drop shipping. Okay, there are companies who are giving it, but there is still a lot of room for improvement. I also used to do it once upon a time, but I knew my, standard. It was not very high. I knew it. But I also know that there are other players also, but there is still a lot of room for improvement technology wise. A lot of things are happening manual, but there could be a lot of technology that could be used, like AliExpress, which Oberlo is
Yeah.
there. So they are like masters in drop shipping. Nobody has to do anything manually. Everything is like automated. You just click on it, things get integrated. It's very smooth, very smooth. But those kind of things are not there in India. That's the reason why drop shipping is very limited right now. The other reason is that there's not a lot of investment that is happening into this drop shipping model. uh, Everything is coming from private level brands, self-employed people. They are trying it out, but this drop shipping
Mhm.
model is far away from the sight of the investors. There is no company who's investing into the drop shipping model at scale in India, the way they are doing it in other industries like fintech and e-commerce. But this is something which is like totally untouched as of now. So I think there's a huge opportunity for someone who could invest into this drop shipping model and develop it with a good knowledge around the product, and I mean the physical product to sell, and the product, which is, there are two type of products. One is the products to sell, the other one is the product from where they would do the transaction, which is a website. That is also a
Mhm.
product. So the investment is required on both the aspects, and so far there is nobody who has been able to successfully do it. So product wise, there are companies who have done good, but not the system wise. System wise, it's still, but I think it could be a very big industry in India.
Yeah.
Very big industry. If I have to ever go back in e-commerce, I would again start with drop shipping. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, completely got it. So, what would be your few advice on, let's assume, a college going kid? Because when I
Mhm.
started, I was in the second year of my college. I had few
Right.
instances in my family that is the reason I had to start my own business. And obviously,
Okay.
while starting your business, you will go through failures. And for me, it was like 2, 3 years.
Hmm.
Then I slowly understood the ways, the pathways that I had to go and I do not have to go. Then I
Right.
understood, I fast forwarded, taken action, and then we've achieved to a certain
Hmm.
point where I know exactly where I have to go for the next 5 years, 10 years.
Right.
But let's assume this is a college going kid. He had
Hmm.
the hungerness to earn money.
Hmm.
What one or two ethics, or let's assume mindset shift, that you want to tell them that this is the first thing you need to do in your mindset in order to take the challenges of life that you are going to face in the future years?
Right. See, the first thing for anybody, be that a college student or an adult who is already into some business, the first question that they need to ask themselves is whether they are ready for this e-commerce journey or not. So with that question, there are plenty of answers that comes, plenty of other questions that arises along with that, in terms of finance, in terms of knowledge, in terms of support, in terms of guidance in and around. So there are a lot of such questions that will arise, and if the answer is no for any of those questions, that person has to rethink about his goal for starting the e-commerce business, because e-commerce business seems very easy to start, and I know millions and millions of people have started thinking it's very easy, just buy the product, list the product, and update the images, put the content, and we'll start getting sales. So it doesn't work that way anymore. So there was a time when it used to work that way, but that time is gone now. Again, those people who are thinking about starting a business like this, especially the college students, they would not be able to build up their brand directly, most of the cases. So what they would do is
Mhm.
they will do the reselling. They will buy it from a wholesaler, or they would prefer to import it directly, but for importing they would need licenses and all of that. So it becomes very challenging, because once you import and once you buy all that stuff, and if it doesn't sell, that
Mhm.
particular guy is not going to think about e-commerce ever in his life, because he would realize he has done a mistake, and he will move on with some other activity. So before somebody realizes these kind of mistakes, I think the best thing would be to study this particular business model, go through some coaching sessions, training sessions, not just about how to sell on marketplaces, but how to build a brand, how to identify the right product, how to source the product, the costing part of it, the legal terms and legal implications connected with the e-commerce business, understanding the TCS, understanding the TDS, commission structure from the marketplaces, without understanding all of that, if somebody comes into the e-commerce business, I mean, there are 95% chances that he would not be able to survive. So, I mean, couple of things that I would suggest youngsters and others who wants to get into the e-commerce businesses: spend time on understanding the business and then get into it. Otherwise, it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
It's a,
completely agree. So
yes,
I always tell them that listen, if you want to start anything, just increase your speed of doing it. You have
right.
to go through multiple actions, take multiple actions, and increase the speed. If you think that I will make it perfect, then move to the next thing, then I'm
Mm,
going to hate you. So in my team, I don't like people who are very creative, except the
mm-hmm.
graphic designers, because they have to be
Right,
creative. So I
right.
don't like them because if they are creative, they will take a lot of time. So I just tell
Correct.
them, भाई कर दो, जो भी हो भाई भाई
Mm,
कर दो, उसके बाद देखा जाएगा. ठीक है.
right.
I just want them to do that, and then they will figure it out. If it is not working, or then they has
Right,
to figure it out. So
right.
that is what I also tell them, and also I follow my mentor Grant Cardone,
Mm-hmm.
and from the beginning when I started, and I believe that increasing the amount of action in my life was probably the one of the few reasons that
Mm-hmm.
have got me to where I am and where I have to go. So that was
Great.
also something that I would like to add on your answer as well. Increase your speed and action, and failures will come. You have to go through that.
Definitely. Failures is part of, life. Will come in professional life, will come in personal life. So it's going to be there until our last breath. So that should not stop somebody. But it's important to be cautious. But at the same time, I mean, I would say that for e-commerce business, being ready and prepared for the worst before starting is good, rather than you start it and then realize it is worse. So that's the thing that I would like to say.
Yeah, that was great. So I think it is already almost half an hour, and it was a great discussion with you, Mr. Sunilji. So
Thank you so much.
for yeah, so for all of the viewers who are watching me right now and watching me and Mr. Sunilji, there will be a channel link below, so you can also follow Mr. Sunil's channel as well, because he provides a lot of content. He brings up on other entrepreneurs, shares their journey as well. So, Mr. Sunil, where can people find you other than ECOM Tech Ka Tadka, because that is a famous channel out there?
So there is one more blog channel, but I don't really make vlogs anymore. So I think that's the only place there they would be able to find me. But yeah, I've recently started making some different kind of content for e-commerce businesses, mostly about tools that could help to optimize the overall work that they are doing, and fasten the process of managing the e-commerce business and growing their Amazon sales. So I've recently started making those kind of content, and a lot of more contents are on the way. So they can stay tuned with that channel.
Yeah, totally. So, thank you, Mr. Sunil, for joining us today. I will bring you
Pleasure.
again to discuss more in detail about business, life, and all over that. Thank you so
Sure.
much for
Pleasure.
joining today.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Thank
Take
you.
care. See you.
Ji.
Bye.
Yeah.